Striving for equality. India is a country full of surprises. There is great diversity in almost every aspect of human life and in the environment as well. In the last
7 decades
since independence, India has progressed in various fields. Even the Indian society has undergone a great transformation. We have succeeded in uprooting many social evils. Literacy level has also increased since the time of independence. Even the framers of the Indian Constitution were aware of the challenges before the country. So, they gave India a constitution that could provide a base for the healthy and all-round development of the country. The preamble of our constitution mentions the main ideals and principles that need to be adopted to ensure all-round development of the Indian society. Ideals such as equality, liberty, freedom, fraternity, brotherhood, justice, etc. are strictly followed in formulating laws and policies by the governments at the central and state level. So, the Constitution provides for the equality of all individuals in every walk of life, irrespective of their socio-economic, cultural background. Despite all these laws, discrimination and prejudices still prevail in our society. These unfair practices are plaguing the development of our society and denying a considerable section of our society a fair chance to lead a better lifestyle with higher productivity. Let's study about diversity, its good and bad perception, and its impact on the discriminated against sections of the society. In a country full of diversities like India, we often come across people who look different from us, speak different languages, wear different type of clothes, and have different food habits, etc. Their opinions, attitudes, and thoughts may also be different. We find them strange and unfamiliar. Instead of understanding them properly, we usually form a negative opinion about them, which results in building up of certain prejudices. Prejudice. Prejudice means judging other people in a negative way or thinking of them as inferiors. One can be prejudiced against others on the basis of religion, skin color, way of dressing, food, language, etc. These prejudices or preconceived notions prevent us from getting close to others. Such negative attitudes or opinions, when expressed against an individual or a group belonging to a particular religion, race, or nationality, are bound to hurt their feelings and prevent harmonious living in a society. Stereotypes. Prejudice or preconceived idea leads to the creation of stereotypes. If we generalize all people of a particular group into one image, we create a stereotype. Here are some examples or statements that we frequently hear in our day-to-day life. Girls cry easily. Fair-skinned girls are more beautiful than the dark ones. Villagers are very simple and city folks are cunning. People who speak in English are superior. Boys are good at games and girls are good in household work, and so on. Thus, stereotypes can have a damaging impact as they do not allow us to do justice to an individual because we ignore their skills and unique qualities. It is indeed difficult to overcome prejudice because it has been ingrained strongly in our minds. We must try to overcome our prejudice by showing tolerance and respect for other cultures, apart from developing better understanding about them rather than treating them as inferiors. Social and economic differences. Besides various regional, cultural, religious, and linguistic diversities, some social and economic differences also prevail in Indian society, leading to social and economic inequalities. Social inequality. India faces the problem of social inequality. The age-old hierarchical caste system is an example of this inequality. A person faces social discrimination in the society on account of his birth in a particular caste group, whereby a son of a potter becomes a potter, a weaver's son becomes a weaver. All these practices took away the enthusiasm and enterprise of an individual over a period of time and created a situation of inequality. People who were deprived of educational opportunities failed to get good jobs and remained ignorant and poor throughout their life. Besides social inequality, another type of inequality that prevails in India is economic inequality. Inequality comes about when a person does not have the resources and opportunities that are available to other persons. Unequal distribution of wealth among the people in a country has resulted in economic inequality. India is divided into three classes of people according to their economic conditions. These are rich, middle, and poor classes. It is the poor class which is not able to fulfill even its basic needs, that is, food, clothes, and shelter. Discrimination and inequality. Prejudice and stereotypes lead to discrimination and denial of equal opportunities to people. Discrimination means to differentiate between people on the basis of their class, race, gender, religion, economic background, etc., in spite of an individual's skills and qualification. It leads to backwardness and the creation of conditions whereby certain people fail to lead a life of dignity and respect. Thus, discrimination can take place on the basis of religion, race, caste, and gender. Discrimination and the caste system. In the past, many social evils crept in the Indian society. Some of these evils are still prevalent and causing a great damage to the society as a whole. Caste system prevailing in India is one such evil that evolved in the past but is still playing a divisive role in the society. Let's study about the caste system, its origin and effect on the society. The origins of the caste system in India can be traced back to the ancient times in later Vedic age, whereby society was divided into four varnas or occupational groups. This was based on the division of labor and power in society. The Brahmins were expected to perform rituals, worship, and educate the people. The Kshatriyas practiced warfare and defended the countries. The Vaishyas were traders, the Shudras did menial work and served the other three varnas. Vivekananda, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Jyotiba Phule and Mahatma Gandhi worked tirelessly to provide dignity to the untouchables in the caste-ridden Indian society. The constitution refers to them as scheduled castes, though they call themselves as Dalits. Untouchability occurs. After independence, the government was committed to the upliftment of untouchables as was desired by our founding fathers. Our constitution was built upon the basic idea of equality for all. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chairman of the drafting committees that framed the Indian Constitution, belonged to the Mahar caste who were considered untouchables. He had also experienced caste-based discrimination during his childhood and in the later age of his life as well.
Great reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Swami Vivekanand, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Jyotiba Phule, and Mahatma Gandhi worked tirelessly to provide dignity to the untouchables in the caste-ridden Indian society.
He raised his voice against caste discrimination and demanded equal respect as well as rights for the untouchables. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar fought for the rights of the untouchables. A large section of our society remained backward and ignorant due to the unjust caste system. The lower castes were exploited by the privileged groups, especially the landlords. This resulted in a new practice of bonded labor called Bandhwa Majdoor. In this system, the poor laborers were made to work for the landlord all through their lives and even from generation to generation without any remuneration. This was done on the pretext that the workers had to pay back a loan that they or their forefathers may have taken. Special children. Our society at large is often unaware about special children, their potentials and needs. Children with special needs are usually identified with very low expectations and thus are neglected from the mainstream. The following are some of the disabilities faced by special children. A. Locomotive handicap. B. Hearing impairment. C. Partial sightedness. D. Mental handicap. E. Orthopedic impairment. The Government of India has initiated a scheme to integrate the education of such children in normal schools. Various other institutions have also been set up to satisfy their educational and vocational needs. Tribals. Another section of our society which has been ignored and exploited by others are the tribals. Tribals live in the natural surroundings in the hilly regions and are dependent on the forests for their sustenance. They live in a primitive manner and have their distinct culture, customs, traditions, and language. The Government of India has taken several initiatives as an effort to bring these tribals into the mainstream of the social life. We also need to take care that their individual customs and culture remain intact. Striving for equality. India gained freedom in 1947, but our constitution makers realized that political freedom was meaningless unless it was accompanied by social and economic equality. Thus, they made provision for the right to equality to all the people of India. The preamble of the Constitution enshrines that India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic state. The Constitution of India contains all laws, rules, and regulations of the land. Article 14 of the Constitution guarantees to every person equality before law and the equal protection of law within the territory of India. Under Article 15, the Constitution does not allow any discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Article 16 of the Constitution provides equality of opportunity to all citizens in matters of public employment. It gives power to the state to make provisions for disadvantaged groups. Reservations can be made for women, children, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, minorities, and physically challenged people. The Constitution says that it shall be the duty of the state to protect the weaker and backward sections from social injustice. Seats are reserved for SCs and STs in the legislative and educational institutions also. The caste system still exists in India. The effects of centuries of advantages and disadvantages continue to be felt even today. The condemnable practice of manual scavenging done by Dalits is the worst form of violation of human rights. Therefore, in 1993, the Indian Parliament had outlawed manual scavenging because of international pressure. The Government of India has also set up separate welfare departments. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is responsible for looking after the welfare of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, etc. Such steps taken by the government have resulted in some progress and the people are becoming aware of their rights. Literacy rate is rising among the scheduled castes, and a reasonable number are entering professions like civil services, medicine, engineering, law, teaching, etc. Even then, the benefits have yet to reach a large section of people. We must remember that there is no place for prejudice or discrimination in our communities, homes, schools, or place of work. Article 17 declares that untouchability is abolished and its practice is forbidden in any form. In this way, the Constitution of India provides for the freedom of speech, right to freedom of religion, and religious practices. There is no official religion in India. All religions are equal before the eyes of the law. This secular aspect of India strengthens the democratic policy of our nation and provides sustenance to our diverse cultures. Today, the barriers of religions and castes are weakening. We can see interreligious, intercaste marriages in our society. In the cities, the scene has changed a lot. People have now begun to understand and respect one another and their religious practices also. So, there are less conflicts on the communal line. Increase in literacy rate, greater interaction among the people of different regions and religious background have helped in developing better understanding and tolerance among the masses. Thus, we have seen that equality is a basic requirement or condition for any progressive society. That is why the Constitution of India strives to bring about equality in India.